All right, welcome and thank you for joining us today. Um, could you please just tell us briefly about yourself, Laura? What's your name, who you are, and what do you do?
I'm Laura Baxter, and I've got two businesses. I work with leaders, so thought leaders in particular, to help them find their voice and get their message out to the international world onto the stage. And I've got two businesses, one of which I work with leaders on their leadership presence, and then the other with Castle Mount Media, our publishing company. We help thought leaders get their message out in written form through the publishing of their own books.
Hmm. And in just a few words, can you describe, like, is there a name to the modality you use, or like how would you describe your specialty in this area?
My specialty, well, my background is I'm an opera singer and a former opera singer. I still could do concerts, etc. Really, my specialty is the voice and presence, taking the stage and owning the room. And through the work that I've done literally over the last 35 years on the voice and presence, and then working the last 25 years with leaders, executives, et cetera, on their presence, um, I use a lot of different modalities as far as different methods, that type of thing. All that's necessary really to help them shine, to help them take the stage, own the room, overcome any kind of blocks that might be stopping them from being their best self. That's the one aspect of my work. And then 7 years ago, we founded Castle Mountain Media both because we were approached by several thought leaders who wanted to work with us in this capacity. And it just has taken off from there. We've got amazing authors with Castle Mount Media.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so I wonder if you could describe for us, who do you love working with? Who loves working with you?
I love working with, that's a great question because I just got off a phone call this afternoon with someone I would say is my absolute ideal client. I love working with thought leaders who are not only experts in their fields, but also that are really conscious leaders. So basically, they're coming from a heart-based source, if you will. They're very aware of what conscious leadership is, what their values are, what uh, how they would like to make an impact on the world. First and foremost, when I'm looking at potential authors to work with, that's one of the main things I look for: is are they a conscious based leadership? Are they aware of um, how to connect to themselves and to their audience in a very deep and meaningful way? And what is their mission in publishing this book? What is their mission in giving the talk, etc.? And probably the second part of that is I really enjoy working with thought leaders who have quite a bit of experience because
Hmm.
um, let's say they've already published a book, but that didn't go the way they wanted it to go. I love showing them how to do it right. That's
Hmm.
just one of the things I get great joy in, is really helping them understand that there is a way to partner with a publishing company to get their message out to the global stage.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's also with the voice, I have to say, in thinking with the voice and working with speakers. Um, I'm, I work with, I can work with a beginner, but I prefer somebody who really has experience on the stage, who wants to absolutely they want to make their presentation, they want to take it to a professional level of it, where they're really engaging with their audience. It's also one of the reasons I'm both a TEDx coach and a TEDx speaker. Is really, I love that kind of helping them refine their speech to make it exciting, to make it meaningful and moving for their audience.
Hmm. Hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. And we can spend a little bit more time on these next two questions. Can you tell us why you're so passionate about the work you do, and is there a story behind that?
The Why am I so passionate about it? I feel that every single person has a story to tell.
Hmm.
how that story is and what who their audience is and who they're supposed to reach. I believe, I suppose, at the heart of all of it, Sam, I believe that we all have a purpose in this life, and it is our yeah, it's part of our purpose in life to find that purpose and to pursue it.
Mhm.
And in helping people find their voice, both their physical voice, if we're working on projection, if we're working on improving the color of the voice, if we're working on, the details of a presentation, how to take the stage, how to set the stage for the message they're about to communicate. Um, for me personally, helping them find that physical voice, or figuratively speaking, helping them find their purpose, is just beautiful.
Mm.
It's beautiful. It's the most fulfilling thing that I can think of, because um, once they know, again, figuratively speaking, what their voice is, what they want to say to the world, what their message is going to be, the what they would like to share, and how they want to move and inspire their audience, then the world is open to them. So
Mm.
it's really helping them find their voice, both physically. That's my background. That's what I teach at the university: speech and singing. All of the performance side of it, but also really helping them connect to their sense of purpose. I mean, I can't think of a higher, literally a higher
Mm.
mission than that, or higher vision than that, because if we all truly connected to our purpose, in the sense of how we can improve the world, how what we're doing, how we can help others, um,
Mhm.
the world would be a better place. It will
Yeah.
just genuinely would be. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, and I'm wondering if maybe you can give us an example of your work through either an exercise or maybe a client story of how you helped someone, like where they were before you started working with them, and then, where they ended up after working with you.
As far as there are many. I'm trying to think of one that I would find most meaning, what maybe our audience would find most meaningful. Um, I think maybe if I may give a couple. One
Okay.
is was a young speaker here in Germany, who was supposed to give his first talk, and he was asked to speak at the National Speakers Association,
Hmm.
which is a huge deal, no matter what, to be on the main stage as one of the opening keynotes at the National Speakers Association. And at the time, he was only 19. This is Philip
Oh,
Riedler.
wow.
And he had written a book on he's a millennial, so on actually on the millennial generation, on digital, um, on being raised in a digital world, basically, and the pros and cons, et cetera. But everything was in German at that point. And his agent actually brought him together with me to work with him on the speech. And his English was not what it needed to be.
Mhm.
And in working together, or at least they felt it wasn't, in working together, I did not have to coach him on English in that sense. That's not part of communication. In his sense, what he needed was just to know how to bring everything together for that huge stage, including how to use the stage, how to bring humor in, how to, well, really, how to use the English language in a way that's simple enough so that he wouldn't get thrown by it, but still meaningful enough for that audience. And he
Mhm.
ended up getting 3 standing ovations, when he
Wow.
gave his talk in Philadelphia. So that's one example. There are many others like that. I can say certainly probably the more meaningful coaching that I do, where we're really getting into absolutely relevant topics for the day, or when I do TEDx coaching, when I work with my TEDx speakers on their topics, because you're talking about everything from AI, how to make it understandable for everyone, or how to there's one talk that I'm working on right now with one of my TEDx speakers, and her talk is on how we can help underserved communities or how policies that have thus far happened have not helped underserved communities. And that's just for me from my side the most meaningful aspect. And of course, in the book area, every time we bring a book to the bestseller status, it's just beautiful. Be it international or international best-selling status, or regional best-selling status. It's fun, and that's just getting getting the rankings and seeing how high the book has gone in the rankings on Amazon, etc., is just a fun thing, and that's happened. I can give many examples of that. Yeah.
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 Um, so Laura, if people want to learn more about you, get in touch with you, where would they find you? How'd they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me by writing me, either sending me an email at info@Voice for Leadership, or for Castle Mount Media. So voiceforleadership.com, or for Castle Mount Media, info@castlemountainmedia.com, or connecting with me on LinkedIn. That's probably one of the best ways to connect with me.
Mhm. Wonderful, wonderful. And lastly, if you were talking to a colleague or a friend about the Evolutionary Business Council, what would you tell them about the EBC and why they should be a part of it?
Oh, how much time do we have? There are so many reasons. I mean, as you and I, we've connected over the EBC in so many beautiful ways. The EBC is not only, and it's not only an international network that brings thought leaders together, and thought leaders, of course, are my main target audience in that sense. But there just a thousand things. When I have one of the first questions I ask authors when they come to me is, what are your networks? How are you going to be able to market this book when we're working on their press release information? And if they say they're a member of EBC, then I immediately know that they've got a very solid network that we can fall back on to help them promote their information, their books, their speeches, whatever. The meetings with colleagues internationally, being able to exchange just exchange thoughts and ideas, partner, joint venture, collaborative projects. All of that is just possible in the EBC, and it's a group, an organization that I recommend to everyone I know. Just everyone in the thought leader, not everyone I know, but everyone in the thought leader category. It's everyone who really wants to be on a stage or have a stage, a platform. I guess it doesn't matter if it's a stage or a book or whatever. I recommend the EBC because it will help them further their career. And so that's, for me, it's a no-brainer to be a part of this group.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. One last little question. What challenge do your clients often have before they start working with you that they think is just normal? It's just, part of doing what they do, that really they shouldn't think of as normal.
If I can divide that into two, one for each business, I would like to. As far as speaking goes, and that can be speaking on a stage or even speaking online if they're giving an online talk or a seminar or training, whatever. From the speaker aspect, it's very often that people will say something like stage fright. Okay, I'm nervous, but it doesn't matter. Instead of being able to connect to themselves and really be connected to their purpose when they're going on to the stage. That's one thing that I think many people just say that's a normal, everybody's got it, and without really thinking about what's behind that. And understanding, this is going into your question about a tip, understanding what exactly stage fright is and what mentality, what state of mind it's putting us in, as opposed to, I mean, the physical thing that's happening with stage fright is we have adrenaline. And if this particular talk is important to you, you're going to have adrenaline flowing in your body. It's how you interpret that. And so many people go in this negative spiral of I'm scared or nervous, and that's only one option. You can also choose I'm pumped up, I'm excited, I'm ready for this, focused on the audience. So the tip is to look at where your focus is. Is your focus on you? Because having stage fright is incredibly egotistical.
Mm.
I may fail, whatever. What are they thinking about me, etc.? What if I make a mistake? That's all egotistical. That brings you in that nervous spiral downward. And the other focus, and the focus I help my clients have, is a focus on the audience. What is the gift you want to give them? What is the one single message that you really want them to go home with today? So that's sort of what people think is kind of normal in that aspect. Or it doesn't matter. Another aspect with the speaking is, okay, I've got a rough structure for my talk without really thinking of the details of how that really should be in order to captivate their audience. As far as presentation skills, or stage work, etc., there are a lot of things that people think, oh, it doesn't matter how they dress, for example, and it really does. As far as books go, what I often find, the mistake that authors or thought leaders often make when they're wanting to publish a book, is to want to do it all themselves. And self-publishing is fine if you're just going to use the book. If you're making a very simple book and you're not really looking at all of the aspects of publishing. What I found, though, and these are some of my best clients to that question, are those that tried that and realized, wait a minute, yes, I got it done. I managed at a budget rate to get this book out there. But I noticed that there were these 10 things about getting it listed internationally, about having distributors and printers in every country or every region, not just using Ingram Spark or not just using KDP, because they're very limited as to where their books are printed and distributed. Really being able to to be able to reach large audiences like in India or like in China, etc. And if you just do a self-publishing, which you're just trying to try to do everything yourself, you're not going to manage to do that. So that's sort of this attitude when it comes to book writing. Oh, I can do it myself, or I can get AI to help me, or I can whatever. There's a lot you can do, and it can look okay. But if you really want a book, a real what professionals in the field would say, that's a book. It's not just some sort of self put together thing. To get help with us at Castle Mount or with someone else, but just to get help. That's important. Very much so.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Laura. It's been a pleasure to get to know you through the EBC and to talk to you today.
Same here, Sam. That's one of the big honors of being part of this group, was getting to know you and be able to work with you over these years. So thank you so very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.